Greetings. Welcome to Inmates For Change. My name is Jones. I'm the founder, CEO of the 501c3 not-for-profit Inmates For Change. What we do at Inmates For Change, by way of our motto, is we are breaking the bondage of destructive thinking one mind at a time. Welcome to tonight's show. Tonight's show will be a great information-packed show. And those of you right at the top of the show, before I even get into it, let me tell you how to reach us here at the studio. 312-738-1060. Again, 312-738-1060. Again, my name is Jones. What we're doing here with Inmates for Change, we offer a 12-week curriculum. Sometimes it runs a little longer, and for some gifted individuals, it runs a little shorter. And what we do here is we offer critical thinking, interpersonal interaction, forward thinking, short, realistic goal accomplishment, long-range planning, relationship, spiritual connectedness of God consciousness, vocational training, as well as linkage to vocational positioning. That's career-oriented. What we do not do is help you find a job. We help you develop into a career. So I wanted to get that right out of the way. One of our parts of the component curriculums that we offer is Path to Purpose. And again, that's the 12-week classroom curriculum. But we're going to get right into this action-packed, jam-tight information session of Inmates for Change. Tonight's topic is pushing through until I break through. What that simply means is we've got some struggles for us as reentry and recipients of this unfairness and this oppressive state of affairs that affects individuals who have felony convictions and or are returning home from prison. Now, along the lines of pushing through until I break through, we're going to cover events, situations, actions, and circumstances, reprocessing my process of thinking, developing the discipline and the focus, understanding and acceptance, and lastly, knowing where my help comes from, absolutely. So let's get started. Pushing through until I break through. There are a lot of challenges that are going to be coming for individuals who are trying to successfully reintegrate back into community, family, and corporate America by way of societal laws and following some of the rules and regulations of civilized structured government. Now, pushing through until I break through, I know I'm coming home as an event. It really is. I've been away a while. I want to be able to connect back to the people who were supportive of me, get back into my community as quickly as I possibly can, and possibly, hopefully, get gainfully employed. So I've got to understand that I'm going to have to go through a few things before I can become accomplished enough that I can sell myself in an interview that the people who are doing the interviewing, the prospective employer, will possibly be able to accommodate me even though I've got this checkered past in my background. So pushing through until I break through, what type of situations will I be running into? Right off the top, we already know we've been stigmatized when we come in. We have a type of aura around us that we cannot be trusted. We're prone to violence. We're undereducated, or if at all educated. We lack the skills necessary for successful reentry or integration into corporate America and or manufacturing industries or the like, corporation type stuff. So I've got to understand that while I'm pushing through, I need to start planning some of these things by taking action. If I don't have my GED, which is the basic educational curriculum requirement that is one of the criteria for successful reintegration, if I don't have it, I need to focus on getting it. A lot of us come home and the first thing we want to do is we want to get a job, just any kind of job. The only thing that we're most likely going to be relegated to will be maintenance, warehouse, or some type of heavy lifting, labor, construction type of thing where there's no future in that particular arena of the available vocations and positioning that's in the industry. So I've got to take some action. I've got to develop a situation and a strategic thinking kind of format for myself that will allow me to overcome some of these challenges that I'm going to be facing, work through these adversities that are going to be in front of me. And I've got to be resilient and flexible enough to accept no, because it can't be my way all the time. And I've got to learn to accept no as part of the requirement to get to where I'm trying to go. So what happens for my circumstances? Once I'm along the lines of pushing through until I break through, these circumstances have been created more than likely by my own hand. When our mothers and parents were out trying to raise a family and had to go to work in most cases, and they left us on our own to go to school, do your homework, look out for your sister and brother, and I don't want to hear any bad reports about you or something out here. Don't embarrass us and have our name disrespected out here. Those type of circumstances were the governing types of information and actions that we needed to do to learn how to live in a structured environment, which is why it was our home. Now that we've gotten through these circumstances to a point of where are we now with these felony convictions trailing behind us, now we're looking to see how can I make it easier for me to navigate through. And with that, I need to learn to reprocess my process of thinking. If I think in my mind that because I'm a convicted felon that I will never be able to rise above my condition or the expectations, I'm right. If I have in my mind that I'm going to rise above these situations, conditions, and circumstances, even though I have a criminal background or some felony convictions, I'm right. So my mind has to be reprocessed so I can understand that because it was what it was doesn't mean it has to be what it is. I can rise above it, but I've got to believe it. I've got to believe it. I've got a caller on the line nice and early, and I appreciate that. Caller, please let me know who you are and what your contribution is.
Hello?
Hello? You got to speak up just a little bit for me.
My name is Carl. How you doing?
Hey, Carl, I'm doing well. Thanks for calling in. You got a question, comment, or a critique?
Yes, I do. I was trying to seek some employment.
Speak up for me, Carl.
I was trying to seek some employment at this moment, as how we go, that everywhere you go, your background is a factor.
Okay.
Is this some kind of, like, well, you could hear me in that program or something?
Okay. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You're breaking up here. I don't know if you're on a cell phone or you may be in transit while you're talking. We may be experiencing some technical difficulties here. It sounded to me like when you're going to apply for employment, you got this background following you, and how can you overcome the challenge of the stigma of being labeled a convicted felon? One of the things I would consider that we teach with Inmates For Change, and that's a great question. One of the things that I would consider for an individual who progressively just keeps running into these types of roadblocks, obstacles, and challenges, he might want to consider small business ownership. Once we start understanding that we are empowered by all of the stuff that we did when we used as our survival skills, once we were out in the street or in the world as we call it, we use those street level sensibilities and sensitivities to survive from day to day. It's the same type of principle that we need to be working with while we're trying to get back reincorporated, reintegrated, and reinvigorated into family, community, society, and corporate America. Now, if I can't get hired because, let's say, I don't have the progressive skill sets that they seem to be requiring for my position, but I can do the job, and I know I can do the job, there's a possibility I can start thinking along the lines of becoming an entrepreneur, independent contractor. I can develop my own curriculum that I know would be geared toward a certain type of demographic, same way we did when you were selling cassette tapes out of the trunk of your car. You didn't need Motown or Epic Records or Atlantic Records to represent you. You knew that you had a gift and you could work what you were doing, and you put the salesmanship that you had and you convinced people to purchase what you had to offer, and you knew your product was good. It's the same principle that we use along the lines of once we're trying to gain a livable wage. One of the things that happens for us as convicted felons, our human rights are at stake. We're not talking necessarily about civil rights. We're speaking about human rights. I've paid my debt to society. I've successfully completed my parole. I haven't been rearrested or reincarcerated in a number of years, and I still have this trail of stigmatization and being kept out of something following me. When does my wrong end and my rights begin? And this is through advocacy through other organizations that are involved with criminal justice, restorative justice, and how do we find our way through with all of that. So Carl, what I want you to do, I'm going to put our number up right now, and I need you to give me a call, and we'll talk tomorrow. I promise you, if you call. You can reach Inmates for Change at 773-746-3075, Monday through Friday, from 9:30 until 3 o'clock. You can also visit our website just to take a look and see what we're doing. We've got a few testimonials on there at wix.com/inmatesforchange.org. We're accepting email at inmatesforchange@gmail.com. Getting back to what we're talking about here is pushing through until I break through. Carl, do not give up. That's the one thing you do not want to do. You do not want to give up. What you want to do is reach out to some of these resources that Inmates for Change can offer you. So I would hope that you would make up your mind about making that call tomorrow. And if I'm not able to get to the phone or a member of the staff is not able to get to you, please leave a clear voicemail message, a phone number, and the best time to call you back. Now, we're only open on those phone lines from 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. But you may catch a call from me about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, depending on how the voicemail message sounds. So let me get back to what we're discussing here. Pushing through until I break through. And thanks again for the call, Carl. Reprocessing my process of thinking is eliminating this destructive thought process that I have that seems to be a pattern with me every time something comes up that's not agreeable to what I'm trying to accomplish. One of us, well, I shouldn't say that. I should say this. One of the things that we learned as boys from our fathers was that you can change the world with your fists. Well, I think that was taken kind of out of context for us. You know, we felt that now I need to beat up everybody that's standing in front of me to get my way. No, there's a power in your brain that happens where you can outmaneuver an individual, or you can play along with what they're expecting you to have while you're building yourself to become better, stronger, and a lot more presentable for the package that you're trying to present. I hope this is making sense to you guys out there. Those of you who want to give us a call, 312-738-1060. That's to join the conversation. I've got to also learn how, by pushing through until I break through, I've got to develop the discipline and the focus. Here's what I want some of you individuals out here to do, especially with the male population, because truly, we are kings. We are the ones who are designed by God to prepare ourselves by taking care of and providing security, nurturing, and education for our women and our families. So, developing the discipline. Picture yourself as a vacuum cleaner salesman who goes door to door. And you're starting at 9 o'clock, you're all impressed about what the commission basis is on this kind of thing. Let's say you get $250 to sell this $600 vacuum cleaner. It does everything. It's got all the bells and whistles on it, and you start your morning with a vigor. You got on your tie, and you suited up, and you got your script down pat, and you're going from door to door, and you're knocking, and all you're hearing is no, get away from my door, and this kind of thing. Finally, after lunch, you probably decide you're going to at least finish out the day. What happens? Around 2:30 in the afternoon, you're about to get off at 4, but at 2:30 in the afternoon, someone opens their door to see your demonstration. They decide to buy the product. And then they give you references for 2 or 3 other individuals that they know will buy also. This is how this stuff works, but I've got to stay disciplined with the negative and the types of adversities that I'm going to be coming up against, and I got to stay focused. I'm not going to lose focus. I've got a caller on the line. Caller, tell me who you are and what your contribution is, please.
My name is Cecil.
Hey, Cecil.
And I'm just, I'm looking at the TV, and I know who you are. And I'm glad I'm saying hello, but an inmate can, and he will, you just got to keep on pressing through. Cause I mean, I'm a repeat felon,
Okay.
and and I never, when I got out, I would never let that bother me because I'm an inmate, because I know I'm a person also too.
Okay.
And, and I gathered where you came from about, when you finish paying your debt back to society, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is just to my understanding, my experience, what I've been through. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of resources that are out there, but the inmate or the person, they have to kind of learn how to assert themselves, and the same assertiveness that I use for as being with the criminal man.
Yes, sir.
I use that for getting back into society.
Yes, sir.
And it's not easy, but
it's not impossible.
like you have that very right. It's not impossible.
No. So let me say this to you, and Cecil, I want to say thank you because that's a great comment that we had there. Let me piggyback on what you were just expressing. When we start using the skill sets that we have out in the world to feed ourselves on a day-to-day basis, or in some cases, chasing our addiction, we were determined and we were disciplined and focused. So coming back is going to be the same thing. It's already evident in a lot of cases that society is not accepting of individuals who have felony convictions in their background, whether they're violent or nonviolent offenses. They don't care about the unfairness of the police in the communities. They don't care about the court systems that have these mandates that they have to follow. They don't care about the families being broken up. They don't seem to care about how limited we are with resources and services in our own communities. And that's where it is. That's just where it is. It's not fine, but it's just where it is. So the thing we need to understand is to rise above this condition, we need to get connected with people who are working with us to help us develop what we need to get through. And Inmates for Change is dedicated to that type of service, breaking the bondage of destructive thinking. Again, we can be reached at 773-746-3075, Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. 773-746-3075. Cecil, I want to say to you, thank you for bringing up that very, very integral point that we needed to stop on. And I'm going to take this next call. So keep listening in, and don't forget to call in, but give us a buzz tomorrow. Hello, caller. Tell me who you are and what your comment, question, or your critique is.
Yes, sir. This is Ray.
Hey, Ray. How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy to see you back on TV.
Thanks, Ray.
Listen, let me say this. They say it takes a community to raise people.
Yes.
But how about that community helping people, especially coming out of the pen? Give him a job. Let him work for minimum wage. If he does a good job, he'll get a raise. And all this time, he could be going to school, getting a good education, so he doesn't have to be on that job all the time. But the question is, if he does a good job, just that first guy, if he does a good job, believe me, the businesses will be looking for more former inmates and give them a chance, give them a helping hand, so forth and so on.
Okay, and I agree with that, Ray. And I want to tell you right now, thank you.
Can I say this? If the community's not going to help, guess what? Nothing's going to help, and there's going to be more crime.
Well, that's one perspective. And I want to say this to you, Ray. First of all, thanks for calling in. Second, that's a great comment. But thirdly, let me say this to you. If you don't have the services and resources in your community, how long are you going to stand around and let that stand like that? We need to advocate for ourselves instead of waiting for them to come and give us something. Don't you know there was a time in our lives when it was against the law to educate a child of color? And we still figured out a way to get around that. We have to face those same realities that we have today. They don't want us in there, but they're not going to deny it to us. But we just have to have the skill sets or the ingenuity, the discipline, and the focus to reprocess our process of thinking and develop something that's going to be a lot more tangible. So a lot of this work falls on us. I'm going to take this next call, and then we're going to get back to pushing through until I break through. Caller, tell me who you are and what your comment or question is.
Hi. This is Vicky. I wanted
Vicky.
to know if you had reached out to Mr. Darden about Cook County Jail to see if there was some kind of way that you all could implement some educational opportunities for inmates that are there that definitely don't have the skills that they should have.
That is a great question. And you know something? I'm going to tell you this, Vicky. Yes, I have. And my program, the curriculum that I speak about, that's a 12-week program, is a pre-release type of mindset. That's where the brain trust came from. When I was doing time, what was the holes and the traps that were inside the existing curriculum and programs that they had there, why weren't they having more of a success rate? And it was because they were not reaching the individuals who they were using as their demographic. There's a way that you have to translate this information to an individual who has been nowhere but on the streets, in gangs, along the lines of criminal activity and criminal mindset, and he's not necessarily interested in trying to have to work his way back. So you've got to make this conversation go across that reaches across these brain blockages that we call destructive thinking to get this information across. They've got to buy into the situation and the condition about their own circumstances.
But even if that person doesn't want it, it should be mandatory that they do have it.
And that's true. And they do have it.
And
now,
it should be mandatory. Mr. Darden should make this a mandatory item that they actually have to do this. If you sit in county jail for 2 years, there's no reason why you should not have gotten a GED or something.
I'm going to speak. Let me speak right here for you.
Let me say one more thing. People always say, I'm a convicted felon. I can't get no job. I have a nephew that went to jail, and he stayed in there for 8 years. When he got out, he got a job, okay? He is a supervisor on his job right now today. He goes to work every day. He goes to church on Sundays, and it's not because he's from good stock. It's because he got put behind bars, and all of those people that was around him when he had money, where were those people when he got locked up? He couldn't call them and ask them to take a collect call. Send me $1. Send me $0.25. These people got to wake up and realize that you out there on your own. Nobody is going to do anything for you except for yourself.
Vicky, I want to thank you for that contribution. I want you to do me a big favor right now. When we take you off the air, I want you to call my number, 773-746-3075. Leave me a voicemail message. Call me at 773-746-3075.
Okay.
You sound like something. Thanks so much for the call. Let me move into what she was explaining. There is a program. I have to speak in defense of the Cook County Jail. There is a program in place there, but that program is for the individuals who want it. These guys have been interviewed. They've accepted the terms that they were supposed to be living up under, and they were in a programmed unit. I worked there as a volunteer, and I know that those individuals who were there, the ones who were genuinely interested in changing their lives and turning their lives around, they did exactly that. I'm going to take this next caller. Hello? Caller, tell me who you are, what your name is.
Hi, this is Arvette.
Hey, Darvette.
I'm calling in reference to if you have programs that they go into when they come out of prison, jobs that they go to. Per the Safer Foundation, I'm familiar with that. My brother was incarcerated for 28 years. He came home, he'll get a job, he'll stop working because they don't want to keep him once they find out that they do have a felony record. Also, the tattoos. Once they see the tattoos, that's a strike as well. Possibly we can have something or somewhere we can go. As far as a family is concerned, we can only do so much.
Right.
A lot of families are on a certain fixed income. Yes, sir.
Let me say this to you. Look at your TV screen. 773-746-3075. I can get your brother into a program where he can learn how to run his own business. He doesn't have to keep having them hand him something. Call me tomorrow. 773-746-3075. Leave a phone number for me.
I texted him your number already, sir, and I gave him the email address.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for calling. And don't stop calling here, and please don't stop viewing. Spread the word. Let's get this word out there that there is someone by the name of Inmates For Change that is very much interested in helping these individuals who are coming home facing these challenges to rise above the condition by breaking the bondage of the destructive thinking and breaking through until they get through. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Thanks so much. These are a lot of calls. I want to tell you, I didn't even get a chance to finish what I was talking about today. I got stuff lined all the way down into the middle of the page, but that's great. I appreciate the interest. As we know, this is a very, very pertinent point that we're trying to express here. The thing I want to do is take a moment right now and thank everyone who called in, as well as those of you who are viewing in. And I want to say, Inmates For Change is dedicated to breaking the bondage of destructive thinking. We can be reached at 773-746-3075. Check out our website at wix.com/inmatesforchange.org or email us at inmatesforchange@gmail. I want to take a moment in closing. We're wrapping up right now to let you guys know that part of this program was produced by the professionals out there at the Mobile Doc. I want to tell you all, thank you. This has been information-packed session tonight. I'm going to see if I can talk with those representatives that we know and see what we can do about getting 1 hour time slot. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to stick around. Even if they say no, I'm going to just keep it going. So thanks again for the support. Thanks for listening in. And in all seriousness, God bless you all. And we surely appreciate your time that you spent watching, listening in, and calling in. Have a great night and stay safe out there, okay? Good night.